So we don't normally think about saving rolls, right? Most of the time, we either get to take them back to the bank because a solid date roll of the brand new stuff, the big belief is they're not worth saving. Okay, we got that. Now, there are a number of instances where I've talked about this little funny thing called sealed equity, and it's something that's starting to make its way around. The coin community, a lot of people, I would say, since the beginning of the year, have asked, well, why does this Lincoln Penny box, a full brand new box of, say, for instance, 2002 Lincoln cents, why are they selling for $150 to $200? I see that and I hear that all the time. At first glance, that particular date doesn't seem like it would offer anything. Probably with a little bit of research, you'll find that there's probably very few varieties and errors that you could look for on that particular date. So what gives? Well, sealed equity simply means that these rolls and boxes eventually will dry up over time. So there's this kind of like collective investors, I would say, that buy these boxes or rolls. They could buy singular rolls instead of a full box of one particular denomination, and they'll just hoard it and then keep it away until they want to do something with it. More than likely, they're betting that they could sell it for a pretty good amount of money. We're seeing a lot bigger premiums on Lincoln cents as a result. So just kind of like a little tidbit on that whole sealed equity bit. I talked about it before in other videos. But the main focus for this video is going to be Roosevelt dime rolls during the 2000s, from like 2000 to 2009. The valuation of these particular rolls will blow your mind. What do we know about dimes today in the numismatics landscape? Not a lot of people collect them. So it would be realistic to say that a lot of people do crack open dime rolls and have they have no emotional attachment to this particular denomination. They'll crack it, they'll put it into their cash register and use it and abuse it, and they will go through the system for many years till they're either lost or damaged or destroyed. So it's honestly, Roosevelt dimes, I would say, aren't commonly hoarded. Now, what we have on screen here is the lone singular 2007p Roosevelt dime roll. But real quick, this is straight from a bank. These are business strike coins. This is not an assemblage of mint set cracked dimes. Those particular coins are satin finish. And people used to do them. They probably still do it to this day. When they crack open these mint sets, they'll take the various denominations and they'll put it together in a roll and save them. But this particular dime roll is here for a reason. And I wanted to take some time to share a little bit about why this particular seller has this available for $70. Now, it seems like an incredibly outlandish amount of money, right? What is that, 14x the face value of what's inside the roll. But more importantly, it's what you can discover from this particular date of Roosevelt dime roll that makes it a little bit extra special. And you guys need to know about this. Now, $70 seems like a lot of money, and it is. However, like I had mentioned before, this is the only sealed Roosevelt dime product on the market today. It's just this one singular roll. And this is going to be a little bit of a awakening moment for a lot of folks that maybe has some of these rolls, you just don't know it from the 2000s. Take note. These things are like a gold mine right now. And I can't even believe I'm saying that. So $70, is it worth it? Well, consider it a little bit of a gambling proposition. Okay, why is that? Well, in this particular date of roll, you could find 1 of 7 known, I'm going to bring it up right here, shattered die errors. Much like the 2 that you see here. Now, the 2 examples that are currently out in the market, and these come up intermittently for sale. There are 7 known different types of shattered die errors. As you can see, it's like a rim-to-rim die crack with a bunch of little die breaks in between. These things are impressive, and all 7 are a little bit different. There's even one particular shattered die Roosevelt dime that has that feature on the reverse of the coin. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the big reason why that one singular 2007 P, now it's a Philadelphia minted coins, always seem to garner and fetch a lot bigger premium in the market because of the ability to find some of these errors. I would imagine that some of the coins that we see in circulation today that you could still find full rolls of will be worth a lot of money in the future because of the multitude of various errors that you can discover, not to mention the West Point quarters of 2019 and 2020. The last 4 years, guys, if you could still get a hold of any of those P-minted rolls, save them, because you're going to be very, very surprised at how much they will be 10 years on later down the road. It's not like I'm asking you guys to wait an eternity. 10 years, yeah, it's a little bit of length of time, but, you know, when you have, say, a $10 face roll of American Samoa quarters, all right, there's a pretty substantial strike through that we could find in those, a full roll that you could pick up today for $10 face, how much do you guys think that'll be in, say, 2030? Easily $100 a roll for the prospect of being able to find some of those amazing errors in those 2020 P minted American Samoa quarters. Now, getting back to this dime, there are only 2 examples, one in which is currently live in an auction. Both coins are graded. The top example here, which is a different shattered rim-to-rim die crack, is they buy it now for $595. It's graded mint state 64 through NGC, while the other example is a completely different looking rim-to-rim event. I'll just say event because there's a lot of other things going on in there. This one has 6 days left, same numerical grade, but it's graded by PCGS, and this one's currently shipped at $158.50. It will not stay there. Trust me. This coin will probably end up selling somewhere close to this. I would say $400 to $500 conservatively is where I plan to see this particular coin being sold for. As a matter of fact, I'm going to save it, so that way I could keep track of it. But there are, count them, 7 different types of shattered die errors to find on 2007 Philadelphia Roosevelt dimes. For whatever reason, the mint had a heck of a time trying to keep these dies together in one piece. And it seems like every single one that they used had cracked at the seams. And that's why we're left with such visually stunning coins, which has kind of a domino effect to the sealed inventory that basically does not exist online. So here you go. Another thing to keep in mind, what examples have sold today in the last 90 days. Guess what? There's only 18 2007 P Roosevelt dimes, not necessarily shattered dies. Here's one right here that sold for $100, May 5th. This one right here is a little bit more circulated. This one's not quite the mint state 64 like the example that's graded. And here's another one right here that sold for $117.50. Again, appears to be circulated. If we continue on down the line for more of those shattered die events, even a little die chip, $5 with 6 bids, is another little thing that you could find in these rolls. Here's another one right here. I could barely see it, but I could see it as being a rim-to-rim die crack. $100. And I believe that might be it. So the individual errors have a ton of value. It would be worth it just to find one. And the big kind of thing that you're going to have to do to manage that coin is you have to send it off to a grader, whether it's NGC or PCGS. That's probably one of those circumstances where I highly recommend that you would invest some money to grade them, because you're going to take a coin that raw possibly will only sell for between $100 to $150, even though it's in mid-state condition, and turn it into something that'll be worth about 3x that amount of money. And that's after you had dumped in the money, the, $18, $20, $50, $65 to get the error attribution. That's important. But as you can see, there are realized sales that kind of buck the trend, so to speak, on what modern coins should be worth. Another thing to keep in mind are some of the other dates within the 2000s that have sold. Again, people have assembled these funky little lots here, 25Ps, 25Ds. Sounds like it was a mid-set break party, and then they put all those together, so a lot of these are going to be the satin finish type of coins. If we continue on down the line here, there was a 2009 P roll from the same seller that we had highlighted from the very first image of the 2007 P roll, sold for $70. So I'm not making things up here. These coins are selling for a lot of money. This one was a buy it now listing. Here's another one here, 2009 P roll. You can see the P Mint BU roll. This one sold shipped for $43.69. And I believe that's it. Denver Mint rolls actually have a little bit of value. I'm not joshing you. 2022 D. This is the current date of Roosevelt dimes. These are selling for around $15. That's 3 times face value. Pretty amazing there for a brand new coin as of this year. And I believe there was one other one. Let's see. Yeah, right there, 2009 D Roosevelt dime roll. Sold for about $21 shipped with 4 bids. So even the Denver minted rolls are certainly worth saving. You can get 4x your money for those. Here's 2 2022 P Roosevelt dime rolls, $10 face for $17.50. Probably not making any money there. But as you can see, there's not a lot of people selling these dime rolls. People are just so put off by the Roosevelt dime and how, people just don't like the design. They don't like the coin for their size, for the design, what have you. And I think there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye. If you went to the bank today and you simply bought 5 rolls, kind of commit yourself to $25. Buy 5 rolls, set them in a box in a closet. Every payday, you go and pick up a few rolls, you throw them in there. You're going to be sitting on a nice little kind of pseudo early retirement thing there, and there's no greater feeling. These are going to be rolls that are going to be worth about 3 to 4x, and if you have a whole hooligan load of them, that spells even bigger news. The idea, and probably the biggest kind of takeaway for this, is to get into the habit of recognizing the sealed equity situation for these rolls, because oftentimes they don't stay in the bank wrap roll paper for that long, especially when they're being used in commerce. Even today, during the pandemic, people are still using money, change, paper money. So, obviously, this is going to be something that I think you guys need to, consider. This is like one of the most safest bets I've ever talked about. And, there's a lot of like gambly stuff. You can invest in the next silver commemorative coin to come out of the mint, blah, 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 this and that. And there is a very small group of different types of coins that are for sure bets. And bank wrapped rolls, sealed, solid dates of any denomination of coin, I would say from penny to quarter. These are going to be safe bets to enhance in value over time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow scheme. How much you put into it is ultimately how much you're going to get out of it when the dust has settled. So that's why I wanted to talk about just a very interesting, very unique look at these Roosevelt dimes, and I can't believe that they're selling for how much they are, but you got to understand the economics of how it all works when there are clear errors and varieties that have been discovered for specific dates. And that's what really kind of drives up the value to multiple levels up. And if you know that, you can kind of take advantage of it, that a lot of people are also doing right now. So that's going to go ahead and do it, my friends. I'm Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. And Coinaholics, we are discovering together. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care.